Friends, gather round and let's talk about the Middle East. Just kidding, nobody wants to talk about the Middle East. It's like the extended family gathering of international relations, full of simmering resentment, confusing alliances, and the constant threat of someone pulling out a metaphorical odd and forcing you to listen to a 4-hour musical lament. But even by those standards, former President Trump's latest foray into foreign policy is like showing up to said gathering in a Speedo and a fez screaming, "I've got a plan!" His proposal? Well, it involves the United States taking control of Gaza. Yes, you heard that right. Apparently we're collecting geopolitical hot potatoes now. This plan, much like a late-night infomercial product, seems fantastic at first glance and utterly baffling the second you actually think about it. It's the political equivalent of those ShamWow towels, absorbent on the surface but ultimately just pushing the mess around. Now for those of you who slept through world history, and let's be honest, it's a tempting class to nap through, here's a quick recap. Gaza is a small coastal strip currently home to over 2 million Palestinians. It's been under Israeli blockade for years, plagued by conflict, and has the unfortunate distinction of being one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Imagine trying to find a parking spot at the mall on Christmas Eve. Now imagine that, but instead of a parking spot, it's basic necessities like clean water and electricity, and instead of Christmas Eve, it's every single day. So, into this already complex situation waltzes Trump, confidently holding his solution. His reasoning? Well, it's about as clear as a glass of Tang after you've stirred in a handful of sand. But the gist seems to be that America, with its unparalleled track record of successfully managing complicated geopolitical situations, again I'm kidding, is uniquely qualified to take on this particular basket case of a situation. Now let's be fair here. Even a stopped clock is right twice a day, and even Trump might stumble onto a decent idea once in a blue moon. However, this proposal isn't just misguided, it's like navigating by throwing darts at a map while blindfolded and spun around 3 times. First, the logistics are ludicrous. Where exactly does he propose we put the Palestinians? Are we building a giant timeshare in Florida, offering them frequent flyer miles to relocate to Cleveland? The man can barely keep track of his own golf scores, let alone the displacement of millions of people. Second, let's talk about the international response. Imagine the sheer awkwardness at the next UN meeting. It'll be like that time you accidentally wore the same outfit as your coworker, only magnified by a factor of global nuclear superpowers. The real tragedy here isn't just the absurdity of the proposal itself, it's the fact that it highlights the dangerous erosion of sensible foreign policy discourse. We've gone from nuanced debate to bumper sticker slogans, from thoughtful diplomacy to Twitter rants. Trump's proposal, while easy to mock, is a symptom of a much larger problem, the death of complexity in our understanding of the world. It's a world where solutions are presented in 280 characters or less, and where the only qualification needed to weigh in on global affairs is a Twitter account and a tenuous grasp on reality. So no, America should not take control of Gaza. Not because it's a logistical nightmare, a diplomatic disaster, and a moral quagmire, though it is all those things, but because it's a distraction from the real work of finding a just and lasting peace. And that, my friends, is something no amount of real estate mogul bravado can ever buy.